Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still facing the sack. Solskjaer could be in his final week as Man United boss as pressure mounts. The Mirror recently said that Man United have given Solskjaer 3 games to save his job. Sky Sports News said yesterday that Solskjaer is expected to stay in charge of Manchester United despite the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Man United stars have lost faith in Solskjaer. Solskjaer's also lost the fans. After the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool last weekend, Solskjaer refused to resign, and Solskjaer said it was his darkest day as a manager. It's unacceptable losing 5-0 at home to one of your biggest rivals. Solskjaer is now fighting to save his job. Who's going to replace Solskjaer when he's sacked? Now, there's been a lot of rumours coming out regarding Antonio Conte. It says Antonio Conte wants the Manchester United job. But the Man United board are not keen. Sky Italy have already said that Manchester United have made contact with Antonio Conte. It said the other day that Conte has reservations about the club's structure. There's a lot of United fans that want Conte in. I think if Conte got appointed in, he'd do a very good job. And he would suit the strappings of the club. Conte's got a good pedigree behind him, won a lot of silverware in his home nation. And when he managed Chelsea, he won the Premier League in his first season, so he's managed in the Premier League before. That's beneficial. He is available, Conte, because he left Inter Milan at the end of last season, and earlier on this season Conte made it clear that he wants a winning project. So reflecting on that, he rejected Arsenal and he rejected Tottenham. Now, there's some United fans that want Zinedine Zidane, but reports from Spain recently said that Zinedine Zidane is not interested in becoming Man United manager if Solskjaer gets sacked. Zidane said he's enjoying life away from football management. Earlier on this season, reports from Spain said that Man United contacted Zidane because of the recommendation of Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, there is rumours coming out about Mauricio Pochettino. It says that Pochettino is still Man United's number one choice if Manchester United sack Solskjaer. Pochettino is highly rated by Alex Ferguson. Pochettino is the PSG boss. Went in for Pochettino a while ago when he was managerless. At one point he held talks with the club. Pochettino endured 5.5 years with Tottenham before he was at PSG, and analysing the vast majority of his tenure at Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4, and Pochettino got Tottenham to the Champions League final back in 2018. Brendan Rodgers has also been mentioned as well. I'd take him at Manchester United. Brendan Rodgers has done well with Leicester. He's transformed them. So far at Leicester, he's won the FA Cup and the Charity Shield. And obviously proven in the Premier League. Not so long ago, Erik ten Hag held talks with Man United. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's in a position that he shouldn't be in, and I just feel as though that the expectations are far too high for him to exceed as Manchester United manager. I did mention at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for Solskjaer, because I said he's got big expectations to exceed. This season is Solskjaer's third full season as Man United manager. Solskjaer has been in charge of Manchester United for almost 3 years now. In the summer, Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year. We made a mistake giving Solskjaer that contract. Solskjaer's not the long-term manager for Man United. Solskjaer cannot take this squad any further. And Solskjaer will not win trophies as Manchester United manager. Solskjaer hasn't got a pedigree behind him. Before he was at Man United, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. He endured 2 spells at Molde, and before Molde he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was disastrous. The reason he got sacked from Cardiff is because he got them relegated. And a lot of United fans have got strong reservations about Solskjaer's decision making, because analysing the vast majority of the games Solskjaer's managed at Man United is being tactically naive. But I've nothing against Solskjaer. I adore Solskjaer for what he's done for the club. Solskjaer is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. And Solskjaer had a proven pedigree as a player, but unfortunately he hasn't got it as a manager. But revert back to what I have said before. Not all the blame stems from Solskjaer with the poor results and the poor performances. Some of the blame stems from him, but obviously there's players as well that have got to take responsibility for those poor performances. I'm surprised Solskjaer has lasted as long as he has done, but the reason he's lasted as long as he has done is because he's a legend of the club, so Man United are obviously going soft on him. But I think one more defeat will end Solskjaer as Manchester United manager. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. The reason Solskjaer got the job permanently back in March 2019 was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. And Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, and Solskjaer knew he had a lot to do when he came in. But Solskjaer's ran out of excuses now. We've got a very good squad. It's a title-winning squad. So, in reality, Manchester United should be winning the Premier League this season, or at least challenging for the league. But the problem is, Manchester United are a team of individuals. Like a lot of pundits have said, we're not playing as a team. If we played as a team, I think it'd be a different story now with Man United. You've got the likes of Liverpool, City and Chelsea and that all play as a team, and that explains why they're in a much better position than Man United at this moment in time. Our squad is worth around 805 million. Plus, Manchester United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year. Man United spent around £141 million. Obviously, we made 4 signings. Brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Villa, brought Sancho in from Dortmund, brought Varane in from Real Madrid, and we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. And Solskjaer received very strong backing in the summer transfer window. John Murtough backed him, Darren Fletcher backed him, Ed Woodward's backed Solskjaer, and the Glazers surprisingly backed him. I think Ollie's enjoyed like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Man United manager. You know, when Solskjaer does get sacked, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson, because Manchester United have already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson sacked David Moyes, we sacked Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho. Solskjaer, though, is not going to replicate what Ferguson did. No manager is going to replicate what Ferguson did, not in my lifetime anyway. Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Ferguson was a very long-serving manager. He enjoyed a 27-year tenure. But a lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, and obviously it has all gone wrong since Ferguson retired. The only mistake Ferguson made was recommending David Moyes in when he retired, but the reasons he did that is because he had a lot of time for Moyes, plus they're both Scottish. But yeah, these very good players at Manchester United. You know, you've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo played in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. He had a goal disallowed. From my perspective, that goal should have stood, because to me it looks like it was onside, and Ronaldo was lucky not to be sent off against Liverpool because he kicked Curtis Jones. He was frustrated. Ronaldo obviously scored the winning goal against Atalanta before the Liverpool game, so he saved us. Ronaldo also saved us against Villarreal. Ronaldo played in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester earlier on this season. He was anonymous for the vast majority of that game, because in that game Ronaldo wasn't getting enough service. Ronaldo tried to storm off the pitch against Leicester, but Solskjaer stopped him. And prior to the Leicester game, Ronaldo informed Solskjaer that he wants to play in every single league game. After he was left on the bench in Man United's draw with Everton before the international break. You know, Ronaldo got named Premier League Player of the Month for September. Ronaldo has scored 6 goals in all competitions since he re-signed for Man United. You know, we got Ronaldo for 19.8 million with add-ons included. Ronaldo wears a number 7 shirt. Ronaldo's got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. Well, earlier on this season, Ronaldo hinted that he's looking to stay at Man United beyond his current contract, but he may not now with how poor we've been. Obviously, if Man United don't get Champions League football for next season, that'll persuade our star players to leave. And obviously, our star players will leave if we stick with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Because like I said to you earlier, the players, or the vast majority of the players, don't want him there. You've got Mason Greenwood, that's also a good player. Greenwood did play in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. I thought he was our best player in that game. He had a very good chance, produced a good save from Alisson. Greenwood played against Atalanta. Didn't really create any opportunities in that one. Greenwood scored a stunning goal in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester. Greenwood has 4 goals now in the Premier League so far this season. At one point, Greenwood went a while without scoring, but despite that, he's been a revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and last season Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. Most of the time we play Greenwood on the right wing. Marcus Rashford, he's also good as well, but he was very, very poor in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. I thought Rashford's positioning was poor against Liverpool. Couldn't really create much. He did have a good chance from long range, just went wide, and Rashford played that horrendous back pass to Salah. Was lucky that Salah didn't score that. But in the 2 games before Liverpool, Rashford did well because Rashford scored against Atalanta and he also scored on his comeback against Leicester. After the 4-2 defeat to Leicester, Rashford's camp were unhappy with Solskjaer because Solskjaer told Rashford to prioritise his football instead of his off-pitch activities. Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while, and don't forget he had to have an operation on his shoulder. Like I've said, we need to keep Rashford on that left wing because that's where he's mostly effective. He's far superior on the left wing to the right wing and up top. Rashford's been part of the club for a long time. Rashford's been a United player since the age of 7. He made his senior debut for Man United back in 2016. Rashford's got a contract with Man United till 2023. You've got Jadon Sancho, that's a good player, but Sancho has endured a very poor start to his Manchester United career. And reflecting on that, United fans have been getting on his back. I think Solskjaer's to blame for Sancho's poor performances because when Solskjaer plays Sancho, he persistently plays him out of position, he plays him on the left wing. Yes, he can play on the left wing, but Sancho's far superior on the right wing to the left wing because the right wing is Sancho's predominant position. You can also play Sancho through the middle. And I said Sancho will do well at Man United, providing that he's used correctly. It does take some players time to settle in. There's some games Sancho doesn't even play, but earlier on this season, Borussia Dortmund warned Man United about the Jadon Sancho problem. Dortmund's CEO came out and said that Sancho's lack of game time at Man United is hurting my soul. We got Sancho in a deal worth 78 million, with add-ons included. And he's under contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. You've got Edison Cavani, that's also good. Cavani has made an impact since he's come in. Cavani was out with injury earlier on this season. Cavani has got under a year left on his Man United contract. He signed the 1-year contract extension back in May. Cavani's on over £200,000 a week. Earlier on this season, it said Real Madrid want Cavani on loan in January. I think Barcelona will reignite their interest because Barcelona tried to get Cavani on deadline day in the summer transfer window. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG. He won a lot. And not only that, he was a long-serving player at PSG. Bruno Fernandes, he's very, very good. Fernandes did play in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. He had a very good chance early on, but skied it. He should have done better with that. Fernandes got 2 assists in the 3-2 win against Atalanta the other week. Fernandes also got the assist for Mason Greenwood's goal against Leicester. So Fernandes is good at providing and he's good at scoring goals. He's also pretty good from long range. Like I've said to you before, Fernandes is one of our best players and he's one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Bruno Fernandes starts the vast majority of Manchester United's games. In a lot of games he's been consistent, but on the other side of things there's been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. Fernandes has been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years. Last season he won Player of the Month and he's won Player of the Month a few times, he won Player of the Year last season. We got Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Earlier on this season, it said Fernandes was close to signing a new 5-year contract with Man United worth £250,000 a week with the signing of Ronaldo. At the moment, Fernandes has got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. Earlier on this season, Fernandes made it clear that he wants to stay at Man United. And when Fernandes first came in, he said he's come to Man United to win trophies. You've got Donny van der Beek, that's also a good player. But I haven't had much of a perception on him at Manchester United because he doesn't get enough game time. Revert back to what I've said before, Solskjaer should be starting Van der Beek, especially in the Premier League. Van der Beek played no part against Liverpool. He played no part against Atalanta either, and he didn't start against Leicester a few weeks ago. Van der Beek did play the full 90 minutes in the 1-0 loss to West Ham in the Carabao Cup earlier on this season. Prior to the Liverpool game, Solskjaer did admit that Van der Beek is frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. I don't think Solskjaer wants Van der Beek. He can't want him here because he hardly ever plays him. Earlier on this season, Van der Beek was furious with Solskjaer as he was left on the bench in Man United's win over Villarreal, and reflecting on that, he said Van der Beek will try to force a January transfer away from Man United following his Villarreal meltdown. And earlier on this season, Van der Beek told Solskjaer his best position. He reckons he'd be best served operating as a number 6 or as a number 8. And earlier on this season, Van der Beek spoke about his Man United future in an exclusive interview with Rio Ferdinand. But earlier on this season, it said Van der Beek's agent is said to be working hard on finding a new club for his client. Romano said earlier on this season that Van der Beek's planning to leave the club in January. There's many clubs in for Van der Beek, so he's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Van der Beek's endured a difficult 18 months at Man United. This season is his second full season. We got Van der Beek in a deal worth 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025 and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. You've obviously got Paul Pogba, that's good. I hope Pogba stays at Manchester United. I criticised Solskjaer for not starting Pogba against Liverpool. He did come on against Liverpool as a substitute, but obviously Paul Pogba got sent off for that 2-footed challenge on Naby Keita. So yeah, Pogba's now suspended for the next 3 games. he's going to be a massive miss for us. You've got Luke Shaw, that's also very, very good. But Luke Shaw has been out of form so far this season. Where's the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season Luke Shaw was absolutely superb. He was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. I'm sure as the season goes on, Luke Shaw will regain his form. Shaw was abysmal against Liverpool. He was accountable for 2 or 3 of Liverpool's goals. Shaw come back from minor injury and illness though, not so long ago. I reckon Shaw's had a good career at Man United despite the injuries he's had. Shaw's been at Man United now for like 7.5 years, so he has been a long-serving player, and he's been our first choice left back for a while, and he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. Shaw's got under 2 years left on his contract. At one point it said Man United were in the process of extending Luke Shaw's contract. Alex Telles, I think he's also good, but Telles doesn't really get enough game time at Man United, so I haven't had much of a perception on him. But when he's played, he's done pretty well. Telles, he was out with injury earlier on this season. The reason we brought Telles in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. I think there's a good chance Telles will leave next year. We got Telles for 15.4 million from Porto last year. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think, he's also a very good right back, but there's aspects of his game that need to improve. But despite that, he's still one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. Bissaka played against Liverpool, like I mentioned, started the game well, and then as the game went on, he looked off the pace. But defensively, Aaron Wan-Bissaka's always been superb, I'd say. This season is Bissaka's 3rd full season at Man United. We got Bissaka for 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. You've got Rafael Varane. That's a very good centre-half. I think Varane is now close to returning. That's good news from a Man United perspective. So he could be involved in the game against Tottenham on Saturday. Varane's obviously been out with a groin injury. I think Varane's done well in a lot of the games he has played in at Man United before he got injured. But he's had a couple of games where he has looked off the pace. We got Varane in a deal worth 41 million with add-ons included. Man United paid like 34 million up front. Varane's under contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year, and Varane to Man United was official just before kick-off against Leeds, which was the opening day. You've got Harry Maguire. That's good when he wants to be, but he's been abysmal, I'd say, so far this season. Maguire was poor against Liverpool on Sunday. I think he was accountable for 2 of Liverpool's goals. There was one part where Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw got caught in a tussle, and that obviously led to Liverpool's 2nd goal. Maguire scored against Atalanta last week, and Maguire played in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester. He was very, very poor in that one because he made howlers. Maguire should have never played against Leicester. I heavily criticised Solskjaer for playing him against Leicester. Solskjaer rushed Maguire back too soon. He's just come back from a calf injury as Harry Maguire. Maguire had ligament damage in his ankle towards the end of last season. Man United certainly overpaid for Harry Maguire, got him for 80 million. from Leicester in the summer of 2019, so he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. Bay, he's good when he wants to be. But Bay doesn't get in the team now because obviously the arrival of Raphael Varane in the summer transfer window. And for some reason Solskjaer seems to prefer Lindelof ahead of Bay. My element of concern about Bay is injury prone. Towards the end of last season he signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year. And De Gea, very, very good goalkeeper. Done really well so far this season. Don't forget De Gea reclaimed the #1 spot back. De Gea was blameless for all of Liverpool's five goals on Sunday. He did make 3 good saves in the game. Weren't for De Gea, Liverpool had won by more than 5. And Dean Henderson's a good goalkeeper as well. Did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. Henderson wants a loan move away from Man United next year. Because Henderson isn't going to get his chances now, is he? He's only been in goal for 1 game so far this season. That was West Ham in the Cup. Don't forget though, Henderson was out with COVID for a while. So yeah, we've got a good squad. There's obviously inconsistent players at Man United. Obviously, Fred's not good enough to represent the club. I don't think McTominay is good enough, even though he has had good games with us. Martial's not good enough. Martial doesn't really get in the team anyway. Martial will go next year. Lingard's not good enough. Lingard doesn't really get in the team. I don't think Matic is good enough. Lindelof, not good enough. Dalot, not good enough. Again, Dalot doesn't really get in the team, no. Dalot will only play if Wan-Bissaka can't play. And there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.